If you don't have access to Grafana Cloud or Grafana Enterprise, you can use the free AI tools such as ChatGPT or Google Gemini to improve your observability. To get the best out of such AI tools, you have to use effective prompt engineering. Prompt engineering refers to structuring your input in a way that you get the best output. There are some key techniques for efficient prompt engineering. The first one is contextual framing, which means that you include specific system names, metric name, or symptoms in your message. For example, you can say in my Prometheus, I have a metric called HTTP request duration seconds. It comes from a node exporter on an Ubuntu machine, and its value shows high 99% percentile. What could be causing this? The next technique is few-shot prompting, which means that you provide examples to guide the model. As an example, you can say this is a working PromQL, rate of HTTP request total every 5 minutes. Now create one that filters for status 500 and method post. The third technique is called chain of thought, which means that you ask the model to think step by step. This is very useful if you want AI to explain something to you. For example, we can say explain step by step how to debug why a rate of CPU usage is flatlining in Grafana. The next technique is clarifying the output format, which means that we ask for desired format like PromQL, YAML, Markdown, JSON, and things like that. This is specifically useful if you want to use an API and you need the response to be in a specific format. For example, we can say write a PromQL query to show card payments using payment type metric. Output must be in the JSON format. The next technique is persona or role prompting. Tell AI who it is meant to be. For example, you can say you are a site reliability engineer. How would you configure alert thresholds for disk I/O saturation? The last technique is scoped prompting, which means that limit the scope to avoid vague answers. For example, you can say just give me a one-liner PromQL to detect CPU that is greater than 80% per pod in Kubernetes. Only output the PromQL query. Now I will show you a very simple example. So this is Docker Desktop. As you can see, I have stand up the Grafana stack and Prometheus using the Docker Compose that I have provided to you in this course, and it is on GitHub. One of the containers is ShoeHub, and it's available on port 8001. So if I open it and then I go to /metrics, it gives me a lot of metrics. These are basically the metrics that Prometheus scrapes. So we know some of these metrics are related to card payment type or things like that, but there are many others. So what are these? You can simply copy all these into clipboard and go to ChatGPT and create a simple prompt. We can say you are a Prometheus and .NET expert. Analyze these metrics and show me the top most important metrics and explain them to me clearly. You paste the message in here. So instead of me trying to make sense of these many metrics, I just ask ChatGPT to do it for me. It gives me a table and it explains the metrics. What's the name of the metric? What's the type of it? What it means? What's the value? And comments. So that saves a lot of time. I would need to spend probably half an hour to understand these metrics, but then using AI, it happens within a minute. In the next lecture, I will show you more advanced way of using AI, but this is a simple way. And if you don't know how to create plugins or if you don't know how to use APIs, just simply use a free tool such as ChatGPT. It is still great and helps you a lot.